Joining me now is Jason Smith, chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, who conducted the first interview with these whistleblowers, and Congressman Byron Donalds of the Oversight Committee, who was in today's hearing. Congressman Donalds, as Jonathan Turley noted earlier today, I think the most damning moment of the entire proceeding may have been courtesy of, it was like an unintentional goal by the Democrat defense. And it came from Congressman Goldman of the Trump impeachment fame. Joe Biden has repeatedly denied, and it's completely not credible, that he never discussed his son's business dealings with him. But watch this exchange.
Hunter told his dad, according to Rob Walker, quote, "I may be trying to start a company or try to do something with these guys." That doesn't sound much like Joe Biden was involved in whatever Hunter Biden was doing with the CEFC.
But it does show that he told his father he was trying to do business.
Oh, Congressman Donalds. So the pompous Goldman just dragged the president of the United States into this. That was sworn testimony by the whistleblower, now on the record.
Listen, I totally agree with you. That did occur, and it was multiple instances in this hearing. One of the things that came out is that the famous WhatsApp message that everybody talks about now, where Hunter's sitting next to his dad and he wants more money and you better give it to us or we're going to remember and we're going to stop everything you're doing. That text message, the investigators at the IRS wanted to get location data to actually show that Hunter Biden was where we all believe he was, which was at the Rehoboth Beach House with Joe Biden. The AUSA did not allow them to get the location data. This is simple investigative stuff. And Laura, look, I'm not an attorney. I'm a finance guy. But this is simple common sense. If you're trying to track down the flow of money and really see how deep your investigation goes, you simply get the location data. The DOJ stopped the investigators from doing that. And so there's more information that came out of this hearing that not only did Joe Biden know what was going on, but that Joe Biden in part was benefiting from what was going on.
And Congressman Smith, look, at one point, I think it was Goldman said, well, yeah, he might have been there, but there's no sense that he was involved in the business. Like he might have been sitting next to him. But I mean, it was so pathetic. And they didn't even really, I don't think, try, because they couldn't to really impeach the witnesses at all. But there was another key moment from this hearing that really struck us with the angle. Watch.
And the transition team is a political operation set up to help the president-elect vet cabinet employees, work on inauguration. Do they have any special investigative powers I don't know about?
Not that I would know of.
In your entire history and working in history with the IRS, you ever worked with a transition team of a president to help set up an interview with a subject of a criminal investigation?
I have not.
Did you ever get to interview Hunter Biden?
We did not.
Congressman Smith, why is the transition team, the political team of the president, involved in, trying to prevent what was obviously the normal course of this investigation?
They shouldn't be. You look at the numerous examples that both of these whistleblowers laid out. They gave countless examples where the Department of Justice, Biden's Department of Justice, delayed a lot of the investigations. They divulged a lot of information, like to the transition team, to Hunter Biden's lawyers, before they were going to issue a search warrant in the Northern Virginia storage unit. And then there's numerous examples where they denied prosecution. What's interesting, these people always tried to bring up, is the fact that the tax years of 2014, 2015, 2016 is when Joe Biden was vice president. And they're like, well, why wasn't there charges brought by Trump? They were still gathering the information, but the statute of limitations ran under President Biden for the tax years of 2014 and 15, which were some of the most horrendous crimes, according to the investigators.
Yeah, the Chinese bank was sending millions, the energy bank was sending millions of dollars. And Congressman Donalds, Ziegler, the whistleblower who revealed himself today, was describing the intimidation that not just he but other agents experienced in this investigation.
There was an environment when we were interviewing witnesses where you were afraid to ask questions that could lead to the presidential campaign. And this is after the campaign's over. So questions like that, it was restricted, and so things like that we were limited to talking about.
Congressman Donalds, how do Democrats, with a straight face, deny that this is a problem with the facts that are laid out?
Well, look, Laura, let me tell you first, what Mr. Ziegler said there is the facts. Those are the facts. It's all through his written testimony and in the depositions he took with the Ways and Means Committee. But let me go further. In the hearing today, the Democrats didn't even bother going at the credibility of Mr. Ziegler and Mr. Shapley because they knew that would be utterly ridiculous. Well, all they wanted to do was focus on Donald Trump. That's all they did through this hearing, and it was disgusting. No talk about the money that Hunter Biden, Jim Biden, and Joe Biden were taking from foreign countries. They didn't acknowledge the fact that there was a international pay-for-play scheme that was going on with the Biden family. They only want to focus on Donald Trump. And I think it's also indicative of what's going on with Jack Smith and Merrick Garland right now, that it's just funny that these two whistleblowers come forward today and all of a sudden there's a new indictment with Donald Trump going on. There are serious problems at the Department of Justice, and it's going to take House Republicans to get to the bottom of it.
Well, there was one moment, Congressman Smith, where Jamie Raskin was trying to argue that Hunter Biden actually received, I was howling when I watched this, actually received tougher treatment from the IRS. I think we have the soundbite. Let's watch.
The fact that Hunter Biden faced a 4-year criminal probe involving dozens of agents and prosecutors from the IRS, the FBI, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware, DOJ tax, demonstrates, to my mind at the very least, that he received no special treatment, but arguably selectively tougher treatment than the millions of the people who never face criminal investigation for doing the same thing.
These are millions and millions of dollars in payments that were documented today. And how in this universe would that not be something that our IRS would want to understand and track?
If any normal American without the last name Biden had beaten the government out of more than $1 million in taxes that they owed, they would serve jail time. And in fact, Mr. Shapley, during the hearing today, highlighted Exhibit 2 that he provided to the Ways and Means Committee, which was an exhibit of what they should bring charges against Hunter Biden. And it outlined several felonies, several misdemeanors, all the way from tax years 2014 to 2019. So
all the charges that should have been brought.
All the charges. And even Leslie Wolf, the assistant prosecutor, was lined that she agreed with these charges. But guess what? He wasn't charged with one felony. His plea agreement is 2 misdemeanors where he slapped on the wrist, won't be serving jail time, but an average American would be serving jail time. But it's unfortunate this administration is truly treating the wealthy and those politically connected to Biden much differently than the average American.
Somebody stepped in here. And said, this is going to kill Biden. This is going to literally destroy his presidential campaign or his political future.
And that's what we're going to try to find out. We've asked for several people to come before us. They're trying to stall it, but let me tell you, we're not going to stop.
All right, Congressman, both of you, thank you so much.